This is YouTube Joseph WM. Welcome Microbes bonus program to a walk in the pre-Cambrian. Alright, let's begin. So today we'll go on a pre-Cambrian safari on land. Spoiler alert, there's going to be no life on land whatsoever. This is like 2 billion years ago. The continents were completely barren and empty of life. And in the ocean, there was only microbes. Around between 2 billion and 1 billion years ago is when the first microbes appeared on land. But like between 3 to 2 billion, it'll be up to 2 billion years ago, there was no life on land, not even microbes, and only microbes in the ocean. The land was completely barren. It was an alien planet, right? Here's our host, Greg Tupel. Hello, remember me from Walking with Our Flings? Well, in this video, I'll go on into a spoiler that I should have a gas mask on. You know what, it's okay, this isn't real life. Because the reason why we say gas mask is because there's a lot more carbon dioxide in the atmosphere at this time. And a lot less, there's no oxygen whatsoever in the atmosphere. It's completely carbon dioxide, or mostly made up. The air is mostly made up of carbon dioxide. There's like only there's cyanobacteria in the ocean which are producing oxygen, which a few hundred million years ago, from this time 2 billion years ago, they released so much oxygen that it was a poison up into this. It was a poison to most of the early microbes, which up to this point were anaerobic. It means they breathed without oxygen. They were oxygen free, and they instead breathed in methane. And breathed out carbon dioxide. And then I'm getting distracted. And then the cyanobacteria come along and cause the great oxygenation event, and it kills them. They pump out so much oxygen that poisons to death all the previous anaerobic microbes. It's poisonous to them and kills them. And this was the first catastrophe that life experienced in the history of life on Earth. Not the history of the Earth, that's the whole Earth-Fate collision was the first, which formed the moon. Alright, that's a topic for another time. And then here there's no, look, it's completely barren. Yes, I am using footage from Death Valley. We're walking around, not here. The first two scenes were from Death Valley. But this is all barren and desolate. There's no life at all on land. There's no plants, not even insects or worms. Just ignore that. Sorry, that was my stepdad's phone ringing. Alright, so let's continue. So, there's not even microbes in the soil, like I said before. Well, they might be the earliest microbes on land at this time, but they're the only life on Earth at this time. It's just bacteria and archaea. And also the first eukaryotes, or cells with internal organs. That would go on to include protists, plants, animals, fungus, and humans. But at this time it was only a few protists that made up the entire domain of eukaryotes. So basically the only life were bacteria, archaea, possibly protists at this time, and some virus, maybe, but also possibly viruses. But no complex life. There's no fungus, there's no plants, there's definitely no animals. It's a world of microbes, it's a slime world. And also the great oxygenation that we talked about before a few 100 million years ago from where I am, Earth's history, midway through Earth's history in the early Proterozoic. It also calls Snowball Earth, which is when the whole planet froze for 15 to 25 million years. For 15 to 25 million years, the whole planet from the poles into equators was covered. The equator was covered in ice, and it was colder than Antarctica. It was so bad that the whole world, the Earth was like Jupiter's moon Europa, and this happened once, and it will happen, again, like 1.5 billion years from now, or like 640 million, or between 750 and 625 million years before your time. Alright. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Mr. Tupo better get in his time machine and go back home, because it's very boring and dry and desolate here and barren. There's really nothing for him to see, but just a barren land of just dirt and sand. Just dirt and soil, maybe soil sand, but there's nothing other than that. Other than some microbes, if he has a microscope. Well, I forgot to mention also one other thing. If he has a telescope, he could see Saturn. Saturn didn't have its ring. Oh, possibly did. We don't know if Saturn's rings went. Oh yeah, it did have its rings. They used to think they only formed 100 million years ago in the time of the dinosaurs on Earth. But no, the rings were there for almost as long as the planet was, 4.5 billion years. Well, but if he looks at Neptune, they wouldn't be. Neptune wouldn't have Triton, its largest moon today. It would probably have a system of moons, major moons that formed, native moons that formed around Neptune, similar to Uranus's moon system today. And also Venus and Mars would probably look like Earth. The moon would be much closer. So if you brought a telescope, the solar system would look different and short than it does in the 21st century. Alright, I better go back to 2022 and leave this. I better leave 2 billion BC behind and go back to the 21st century, because I have to teach. Oh, I don't teach. I'm a dean. I have to go to school tomorrow to see students. Alright, thank you for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Just ignore that. Bye.